This is not. Let's see. We're experiencing some technical problems here. Let's see if we can get this straight. Ah! There we go. Okay, except now it's hiding the thing, so I can't see any chat. Oh, wait, I think I've got it figured out. I've been having trouble with the software, so I'm trying to do it straight from YouTube Studio, and it's not working very well. Oops. And my phone is trying to do things. Okay. Oh, let's see. You changed your name. I want to turn off the camera and I can't figure out how to do it. You don't have access to this feature. I'm trying to, let's see, send feedback. Stop sharing. Mute. I didn't get all gussied up for being on camera. Okay, let's try this. Wait. Oh, I haven't done anything. I looked and saw that there was an arrest, and so I started scrambling to try to get set up, and I've just been having issue after issue. So let's see. Webcam. You don't have access to this feature. 5 level settings. Okay, that's useless. Okay, well, let's see. I've been following this since my friend Gordon texted me and said, Charlie Kirk's been shot. And I went, oh my. And so I instantly got on, and I've been, I think I've had like 2 hours sleep since it dropped. I worked out where the gun was found from various contacts that I have. One was the governor. He should be governor of the state of Utah, but the actual governor cheated, and the lieutenant governor was the one to validate the runoff or the primary, and so that's kind of getting the getting the prisoners to guard the bank. I don't know. So anyway, he was at the rally, and I got to know him when I was a state delegate, and he was running for governor, and he won the primary or the nomination by acclamation at the convention. But
Hello, testing. Hi, everyone. We are 4 minutes out from starting the press conference. Thank you.
Okay. And they redesigned the flag, and we've got the ugliest flag now. I didn't see you. In Mob Crew, but I was so busy going back and forth looking at various tabs. Oops. Oh, just a sec. I've got a phone call here. Hello? Yes, but it's running a little late. They just gave a 4-minute warning. Yep, it's running late. Yes, they've got about 4 minutes to go. They just Yes, they gave the 4-minute warning to the media that they would be going live in 4 minutes, and that was about a minute ago. What? Yeah, it's extremely animated there in the hall, and the crowd very crowded in the yes. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Well, I just went live, so I'm actually talking while we're waiting here for the thing, but yes, that could. Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to you a bit later. Bye. Okay, that's the second point that is makes this case extremely interesting, because after the news came out that Charlie Kirk had been shot, they had, they announced that there was an arrest. And then a short time later, I get a call from Gordon, and he's saying, "It's George Zinn." And I'm going, "No way." And it turns out that George Zinn was arrested. George Zinn is my friend Gordon's former roommate. He rented a room to the guy, and he's a crackpot, total crackpot, and he would do things every so often to get arrested so that he could illegally collect Social Security while being incarcerated. And then he'd bank that up for a bit. Then he would get out of jail and he would play. And then when the money would run out, he would get himself arrested again. And so I Gordon has agreed to do an interview on the first guy, and a lot of people are thinking that the first guy and the second guy are actually conspirators. I've been reading some of the most ludicrous things, and it's just like, no, there's no way George Zinn is tied into this, because he is an idiot. And so he, uh, he used to rent a room from Gordon, and while he was there, the marathon bombing happened in Boston, and a few days later he called or sent an email to the Salt Lake City Marathon and said, "Where do you want me to plant bombs?" And so the police traced it back to Gordon's address, I guess using triangulation, because it's a cell phone. And they came and busted down the door to Gordon's house, nearly got him killed. And so that wasn't very good. And so he's locked up for making a bomb threat. And he's going, "Oh, Gordon, will you please pay for my storage unit? And as soon as I get out, I'll pay you back all the money that for it," and so forth. Well, he never did. And so few years ago, we went to the storage unit, and the thing was big enough to house a Greyhound bus. And it was full of thrift store rejects, is how I would describe it. So we went through looking for anything that might be remotely of value. And then we told the storage unit, auction off the rest. And so he lost thousands on that because, a storage unit that large doesn't come cheap. So then, let's see, George Zinn was out on parole for the bombing. And he hears about a party bus that some people he knows are renting to go to a Super Bowl party in Denver. So he thinks, I want to go to that. So he notifies law enforcement that he's going to Denver for the Super Bowl, and we'll see you when I get back. Well, he's on parole, and he can't leave the state. So when he gets back, doors to the bus open, and the police arrest him. And there are other arrests. He gets arrested for riding the commuter light rail without paying repeatedly. And he's been ordered never to get on it again, but he still does. He's obstructed traffic up in Ogden. He's, he was protesting the work project out on by the west of the airport, and got arrested for that. And he's always doing something. So you get the gun fires out. He's there because he always likes to hang out at all Republican functions, trying to pretend to be the big man, and he's not. So so he's down there because it's conservative stuff, and people will be there, and they don't really want to talk to him, but he's there anyway. And so shot rings out, and so he starts yelling, "I did it! I did it!" Well, he could have got himself killed that way or very injured, but he doesn't. And so when they grab him and start hauling him off to the vehicle, hello, Indiana, they haul him off, and he's yelling, "Just shoot me, just shoot me." And apparently he was doing that at one other time he was getting arrested. So the police quickly discover that he's not the guy. I mean, he's a 71-year-old guy. He's really the guy who climbed up on the roof and shot. So, okay, we have a name. Gordon says, shooter suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, picked up in Washington County, that's St. George, southeast part of the state. He was escorted or assisted by his minister. Does that mean he's not LDS? And I would say, no. Let me see. Better text him back. So, oops. No, that's not. It's on my phone's instant messenger. So, okay, so I've been combing X and looking at things and so forth nonstop. since this went down, and got a lot of different interesting things.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go.
At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
So it's about a 4-hour drive to get the prisoner.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Yay!
On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" question mark. Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. In a case like this, cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, The suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions. And we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. God, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret the engravings on the casing?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not. And by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
Please.
This level of hatred that this person expressed. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him or prompted him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
Can you detail at all how he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes. So right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody. That his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. Yeah, so I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry. We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Talking with authorities, did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is, what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer. on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together. The Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight. Last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be. I mean, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there, but this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m. the timeline that Director Patel gave us led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting. Last question here. Yes. Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
Nobody else is going to say anything? Whoop. Samantha just read my text. Okay, let's see. I was trying to figure out how to make the satellite thing bigger. Oh, she's saying I'm not shopping, but we'll be there as soon as I'm home. Okay. I've got a little tiny thumbnail match, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it big so that I can show you what we got. Let me try doing it for something other than the map. Okay, here, let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, I don't want this here. Okay. Let's, oops. Just need to orient where the map is. Just a sec. Okay. Okay, this is the map of Utah Valley University. And the shooter was right here. Right, well, I don't want it to show that stuff. It was on this building here, kind of up. And so the stage was set up right here. So he had a direct line of sight here. Now, I had thought from the angle when he got hit, his head slumped over to his left. And so I assumed that the shot had been fired. There's that little triangle now. Okay, I had thought that there's a building here which is a combination parking tower and so forth, and I thought he had fired from over here towards there, and so I was trying to figure out how did he get the wound on the other side of his neck, and somebody mentioned that the wound where the carotid was the exit wound. And so I was going, ooh, that was an awfully lucky shot. But no, it was over here. It was a straight shot, single shot. And so he climbs down the building here in this corner. And then he runs up this road here. And he enters these trees here. And then he goes, he's seen on video, or we see him on a video here, and we see him on this street here coming to and from the location. So the person who ran against the governor in the election, he was at the event and he retreated to this house here, which belongs to either his aunt or his wife's aunt. And so, they thought they'd go hang out, and they got an eyeful when they were there. So let me pull up that video. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, no, it would be quicker if I grab it off of YouTube. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, we've almost got it set up here. Let's see. Oops, I scared the cat. Let's see, is there a way to make it even bigger? Okay, wait.
Men in the backyard of a home right next to UVU campus. apparently they are looking for another suspect. Maybe another suspect has not been apprehended, and they're actively searching. I'm at a home that is probably about right next to UVU. So
yes, they're still there. They're huddled together.
Are you talking to Bruce?
With,
they're looking for someone.
We're all at the windows.
Okay. Do we need to let them know that well, there's more of them right there.
I don't know.
Okay.
This is Phil's staff.
Oh my goodness, he's coming right here. Okay. Oh, move away from the windows.
And they got freaked out real quick there and stopped filming because they said, stay away from the windows. In other words, you might get shot. So they suddenly lost all interest in looking out the door there. So, and that was posted by Phil Lyman, who ran for governor, and I got to know on X because there was a battle, appeals and so forth over the irregularities in the election. So you heard the perp didn't estimate the drop rate of the bullet, was aiming for the head. Oh, well, he came too close as it was. They didn't say anything about whether the guy or whether Charlie was wearing any body armor, because they said he always wore it. And from what I understand, it was some kind of real thin stuff, which might have had just like a sheet of metal in it, as opposed to the heavier stuff like Kevlar, which the police wear. Okay, so that was one of the second things that I discovered was that, and we knew that they had found the rifle in an area of trees, and there we've got some trees, and so I knew it had to be north of the campus because that's the only place adjacent where you're going to have any trees. So then what did I do next? Messaging back and forth and looking all over. Let's see what else we got. Okay, here, let's look at the video from TMZ got it. It is from a security camera. Let's get this set up. Okay. We've got to rewind it. Okay. So, and so we've got him walking past once before the shooting, and you'll notice that he's limping because he's got the rifle shoved up one of his pants legs. He's wearing a disabled veterans t-shirt, and somebody suggested that might have been a ploy so that if somebody stopped and asked him if he needed any help or something, or why he's limping, he could just say, well, I'm a disabled vet. So here we go. And I think this house here is the one where we saw him in the backyard with the police. This is probably the part of the stand of trees that they searched, and then they came up here, and I'm not sure whether the gun was over here or over here, and maybe sometime we'll find out. So here we go. No, we don't have any sound. Okay, you see the red arrows pointing to him. So this is Tyler Robinson. He's got a definite limp here. Don't know why he's crossing the street towards the house with the security camera. But if he were a professional assassin, he's not going to want to walk down the street where there's all these cameras and ring. Okay, here we've got it. He's in the field back there. And you've got all these witnesses walking around, getting their exercise. I bet they took this footage to the various neighbors on the street and asked them if they knew who these people were so that they could interview them and see if they had observed anything. So, I think this is a neighbor person there. Okay, I thought we saw him running. Here he comes. Okay, I saw him back there. Here he comes. Here he comes. See, no limp. No limp. All right, let's shut that down. My brother gave me his old Apple Watch, and my watch wants me to stand. Standing time down. Okay. That's not relevant. Let's look at the next one. Okay, let's look at this here. This is from one of the security cameras, and you see here he's got dirty blue jeans. He's got the t-shirt with the veteran symbol. He's got the funny hat, and you see how lumpy his pant leg is. That's because he's got the rifle stowed in his pants, so he's got to walk pretty gingerly for that. So let me take a look and see. What else I might have. Okay, here we go. This is him leaving the scene where he shot from. So let me get this set up. Oh, okay. Oops. Okay, we are at the beginning. Okay, this is him. He has climbed. This is a close-up of what they showed at the press conference last night, so you can see it a lot better. So he's climbing down on the edge of the roof. Chris over in Mob Crew was saying it was like 20 feet, but if he's say 6 feet, and that's nearly 6 feet, I'm going that can't be more than 50, that's got to be 12 to 15 there. It's just a high ceiling. So he's climbing down there. He kind of breaks his hands here, leaves the partial palm print from which they can get some good DNA and match that. So here we go. Okay, he's climbing down. You see him. Oh, he just tossed the gun down, or the rifle, and that's got to have hurt his joints to land. Okay, they're kind of repeating this. Okay, here he goes again. Okay, there he goes, and there's the right there is the gun or rifle with the thing. So okay, now it's just playing over again. So that's the close-up of him. Let's see. Now, okay, let me come back to a nice neutral tab here, and we'll see if we can find some of the other things. I have been putting so much stuff on X. It's crazy. I went from 10,000 impressions in the last 7 days to 20,000. Oh dear. Oops. My cord doesn't want to stay plugged into the thing to stay charged. It's too loose and it comes out, and I need to Google, is there a way to alter that? Because it seems to me a new cord isn't going to solve the issue. So let me get that so that the cord isn't going to fall out. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is this morning when President Trump let it drop that the suspect is in custody.
Yesterday, you were at the
Okay, okay, here we go.
9/11 memorial. We were all watching that.
Yeah.
JD Vance was supposed to be with you. He went out to be with Charlie Kirk's family and to get the body back to his hometown in Arizona. And you said you were going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which was very nice of you. Any updates on this suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued and we all don't get sued and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor, everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But yeah, I think we're in great shape. Mr. President. And he's in custody.
Okay, and as Gordon heard it, the family saw the video from the press conference last night and recognized him and kind of leaned on him, and he apparently had said some cryptic things and so forth, which probably got them a bit thinking that direction too. So okay, let's come over here and I'll scroll and see what else we may have that I've saved. Okay, let's see. That video, which was really fantastic, I've got the link for it here, so I'm going to drop that. And that's from Chase Hughes of the Behavior Panel. If that doesn't work, let me know, and I'll open it in a new tab and grab it from that way. So let's go down a bit. Okay, here is a vigil in Santa Monica. This looks like a Trump rally. Okay, let's... Oh, I didn't look it up. Sorry about that. Okay, let's stop that. Go back to our neutral tab. Let's look at something else. Oh, it's from talking about the gruesome twosome. Okay. Oops, I didn't. Okay. Okay, for our UK people, you ought to like this one. Let me get this ready. Okay, here we go. This says Birmingham, Quinton in the Western Boulevard.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here in Birmingham, Quinton Boulevard. First and foremost, I want to say rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. What a terrible tragedy that's happened to the Western civilization and free speech. Take a look at these flags. These are no longer just about the UK, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. These stand for freedom of speech. So this here is for Charlie Kirk as well. It's no longer about a fucking flag. This is about defending democracy, freedom of speech, and the Western civilization, British culture, Western civilization as we know it. We will not back down. We never will. We never have. Right? Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. God bless your soul. The Woolly Warriors inspired the next generation of patriots here in the UK. And they've inspired me to do what I do. So let's keep getting behind this movement, keep flying that flag, raise the colours, and defend our future. Thank you. God bless.
Now, Charlie Kirk was all about freedom of expression and people having civil discourse about their different political beliefs. And that is something which is sadly lacking in the UK these days. And it's why if I moved to Wales now to live, I would get arrested so fast it would make my head spin, because I would be shooting off my fool head on social media, and they'd come up knocking on the door and haul me away. So wouldn't be a good thing. Oh, this is not. I closed the thing, so okay. Got some people harassing Keir Starmer, singing Starmer's a wanker. Okay, here is a feel-good story. I told you that people have been very generous towards the Erica, Kirk, and their two children. And so here it says Packers quarterback Jordan Love has donated $320,000 to support Charlie Kirk's family, $120,000 for murals and floral memorials, $200,000 for a trust fund securing his daughter's future. Just yesterday, Love donated $180,000 to honoring Irina Zarutska, who was the Ukrainian refugee who was murdered on the commuter train in Charlotte, West Virginia. So now it seems a little odd that he's given $200,000 for the girl and nothing for the boy. I think what this is $200,000 is to cover her wedding, and so that she can have her dream wedding when she gets married. Boys aren't the ones paying for the wedding because it's always the bride's thing. So I think that's why she gets $200,000 and he gets nothing. So let's go back over here, scroll down. Okay, some other people have been generous to the family. I read first that Elon Musk had pledged to pay for all education costs for the Kirk children to go to college. Oh, Marie is running away. Okay. So that's extremely generous with the rising cost of tuition. We don't know how much it will be by the time they're old enough to take advantage of it. So, and I think Elon had pledged like $300,000 for like 300 murals around the country. I don't know much about that, but still very generous and sure beats the George Floyd one. So let me scroll down a little further. Here we've got a tribute. There's this fellow who is sculpting a bust of Charlie Kirk. And it looks very classical and in the Greek or Roman tradition of sculpture. So I like it because you get some of those modern sculptures and it's like their eye is next to their ear and they've got something their nose is sticking out next to it too. And so there's some more tributes. Oh, this here is beautiful. Here we go. This is a memorial in Spain. Let's see. You've got the floral tribute, and then look as they pan around. You've got people all the way down the sidewalk in both directions. That's really lovely to see. Okay. Oops. Maybe we'll just scroll down. Okay, here's a much smaller tribute here. It's also in Spain. And it's just on a corner here, and they put up a poster board and a bunch of little candles. And oh, yes. Nancy Mace has filed a resolution for Charlie Kirk to lie in the state capitol rotunda. I don't know if that's going to happen because you're going to have some cranky people who are going to oppose anything that the conservatives want. So we'll see what happens. Okay, here we go. This is a photo of a tribute in South Korea. And, we've got Korean flag, American flag. We've got the photo. Not sure what these things are. Some floral tributes, some more flowers. So let's... Okay, there is an investment banker. He's a hedge fund manager, and he has pledged to give $1 million for an endowment for the Kirk family. And he says, I'm going to create a $1 million endowment for Charlie's family. I will invest $1 million for the family for free, and we'll give them 5% of the principal each year so that they have a growing stream of income for the future with the ability to tap the endowment for emergencies. And since he knows his investments, that amount shouldn't depreciate. Okay, here we have the air traffic controller recording from when Air Force Two landed in Arizona, bringing Charlie Kirk's body back home. So here we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, here is Charlie and Erica when the Trump won the election. You better turn that down because it might get me some copyright issue. But he's obviously very emotional. So very sweet. Okay, and here's a picture of, says their love story, how he courted Erica. So it says, the story goes, Erica was running her own business in New York City called Proclaim Streetwear. If you buy a sweatshirt from them, they'll also give one to a homeless person on the street. She loved Jesus a lot and started this business to honor him. Charlie and Erica first bumped into each other while in line at the airport. From there, they kept in touch. Charlie asked her if she was interested in a job at Turning Point USA. She was like, didn't cross my mind, but sure, I'll interview. The interview entailed a one-to-one meeting with Charlie at a restaurant. The interview lasted 3 hours because they talked politics and strategy. They just talked about any and everything. The restaurant was closing, so they had to leave. Then Charlie said, "You're really great, but I cannot hire you at TPUSA." Erica was like, "Okay, no problem. I still have my business." Then Charlie said, "I cannot hire you because I want to date you." She was completely taken aback. She was like, "Oh, okay." Then they left the restaurant and went their separate ways. On her way back home, Erica's mother called and asked how the interview went. She says, "Well, I didn't get the job, but I got a boyfriend." So, cute story. And here's another where the Bill Ackman, who is the investment banker, is confirming his pledge to add $1 million to the reward. So is the family who got him turned in going to collect that? So let's see. And here is one of the red herrings. This is Skylar something or other. And she is not the assassin, so it doesn't matter what her last name is. And this is where we got that video we saw of there's the sniper walking on his way to commit the murder. And here we go. This is at Salt Lake City, the Salt Lake Airport at the National Guard section. And you'll see that J.D. Vance is here as one of the pallbearers. There's the governor, then some National Guard troops. And I'm not sure it's leading up the rear. So that's too noisy. Oh, then we had a news story about a shooter at the Naval Academy. So there's some posts about that. Then we've got some graffiti here. Somebody in Seattle sprayed "Kill all Charlie Kirks." And there's just no getting along with some people because they're so delusional. There we've got, this is a repeat of them taking Charlie Kirk's coffin to Air Force 2. We did have a red herring about this private jet, which took off 45 to 1 hour after the assassination, and it turned off the transponder for an hour and then turned it back on, and they had no idea where it went. But that seems to be a red herring because I don't think this guy had the connections to secure a private jet and to get the pilot to break the law. So now we've got some more about the airplane. Here's J.D. Vance arriving in Utah last night. Met with the family, and then they took Charlie down to Phoenix. Okay, and here saying, is this Butler 2.0? And we've got our slanted roof, and we've got our person standing on the slanted roof. Now, we can't blame this one on the Secret Service because they weren't involved in this. He had private security who obviously aren't going to have the resources and training that the Secret Service would have. And this guy wasn't on the radar, so they wouldn't have any intel on him anyway. So, but you can see how he hardly shows up from down there. And this here kind of makes it look like it's dark, and he's wearing black, and it just looks kind of dark from there. Maybe it's partly glare. I was wondering if this was the logo on the hat, but we determined that wasn't it. Here's a red herring. The trans person who they thought was him. And we've got Kash Patel. Oh no, there were some security guys that were behind Charlie Kirk that were doing some odd gestures, like he's touching his face, he doffed his hat and so forth, and they're going over what the signals mean. I don't know that it was deliberate. It's possible. Maybe it's coincidental. I don't know. Maybe we'll learn more about that at trial, but I don't think they spotted anyone. Okay, here is where the shooter lay, and you can see the tent here. And so he's on the upper side of the Losi building. And I'm not sure if this is a makeshift marker. And that's a makeshift marker, and it looks like, not sure what all those were. I was thinking of a a casing for a round, but only one shot was fired. So that makes sense. And here is a little drawing which somebody did. It says, you think someone will pick it up, Lord? And says, someone will, Charlie, someone will. And there's the microphone. So and here we have Liberty University having a prayer service. So here we go. Now, Liberty University was started by Reverend Billy Graham. And so it's a very religious school. And the students of Liberty University challenged the students at BYU, which is probably less than 5 miles away from UVU, to have a big prayer thing as well to honor Charlie. So let's see. Here is our suspect. He's got the shirt. They identified the shirt that he's wearing. And I don't think there's any significant beyond the fact that it's got a flag on it. It's got an eagle. So it looks patriotic, so that he'll blend in with the crowd. But it must have been like 85 degrees, so long sleeves was probably rather warm. Okay. And this is the saddest thing that you'll hear about this case. I'm not sure who drew the picture, but the company text says, his daughter tried to run to him because she was scared of the noise. His daughter tried to run to him because she was scared of the noise. And so it's like, if he had been firing more than one shot, his little girl could have been killed. So thank heavens he just fired the one shot. Here where they're just giving dispatch is giving a suspect description. And that's not very interesting because we've seen the pictures of them already. This guy, Tony Saruga, says Charlie Kirk was wearing a bulletproof vest. And it's the speculation that he hit the chest and that it ricocheted upwards. But in the press conference, or was it you, Indiana, who said that he was aiming for the head, or was that Gordon? Anyway, and here's that video which matched up all the houses and everything on that to determine that that was the right house. And here are some shots from a stairwell at the college of him coming, and a couple of times you see him grabbing stairwells or the rails, and you know that he's not going to be a professional if he is grabbing stair rails with a bare hand. They would have a glove, or they'd have the sleeve pulled down over their hand. Okay, and here is the red herring private jet. Okay, I am going to not give or show the video of the shot. And somebody says, it has a shot and says, how did he get up there? Well, that's not actually him, and it looks like we've got a stairway going down there, and we've got another level, so it wasn't hard for whoever that is, but I don't think that's our killer. So, Steve Crowder was able to come up with scoop on some things, and he came up with the weapon was high-powered bolt-action rifle, which turned out to be a Mauser. And the weapon was found in a wooden area. The FBI is conducting a forensics investigation of the weapon. And you can see here they're just showing overhead. That's the pavilion where he was sitting, and here's our guy right here on the roof. So once again, we can have a reprise of the roof is too slanted. And some people here are pointing this person out, and they probably thought that it was a sniper or something like that and didn't get too worried about it. So, now we've got the FBI admits foreign intelligence involved in Charlie Kirk shooting, and we know from the press conference that appears to have been a red herring as well. So, we had a guy who was cheering after Charlie was shot, and this is the guy, and so they're saying, if you want to call the guy's employers and get him fired, have at it. More talk about hand signals. Oh, here we go. Somebody is stealing some of Charlie Kirk's hats. The police chases him, and they don't arrest him, but here he's stealing some MAGA hats. And he's tossing them to his friends. Here comes the cop. Actually, the second guy threw a hat. I don't know if that was somebody from law enforcement or what. It's just somebody on the phone. Okay. Then we've got the private jet red herring again. And here we have Charlie Kirk is tossing hats out to the crowd before he sat down for the start of the event. And it's just another day. Okay. We got a shot of Prince William looking at a little child with a big smile. So we've got a palate cleanser there. Mike Lee is posting here about President Trump is giving Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously. And Rudolph Giuliani is also going to be getting it. Let's see. Here is the EU, and they had a motion for observe a minute of silence. and half of the left half refused, so the right just stood up and did it anyway. So good for them. Heidi Hatch is a local gal who covers a lot of stuff. And she says, shooter is college age. They have a palm print, footprint, and video of him. Both rifle found wrapped in a towel in woods near the campus. Arrived on college campus at 11:52. Got on building, walked across the area, fires shots at 12:20, jumped off building, ran through the woods off campus into neighborhood. Investigators not releasing photo ID. Okay, this is a curious bit here. South Park did an episode where they featured Charlie Kirk, and they thought that they would remove it out of respect. But actually, Charlie Kirk was rather amused by the episode, and he liked the portrayal. And so people in the comments are saying, no, he liked it. Don't take it down. I think what they'll probably do is take it down for a little bit while things are so raw, and maybe in a month or so they'll put it back up, and then I will have to see if I can watch it. Okay, and here is his daughter. She is obviously a daddy's girl. So I hope that she remembers him. She's only 4. I remember when I was 4. I remember when I was younger than that. Music. This is the family at the beach. Okay. And from the outfits, it's that it's the 4th of July. They're in onesies with stars and stripes, and they've got little patriotic toys to play with. So, a precious little scene. Now, I think this is Charlie Kirk at the GOP convention last year. It was his organization which organized things. So, and here we've got some people behaving badly. You always got to have some of those, don't you? Okay, we've got shot fired. Oh, that reporter lady, this is footage from her son's phone after the shots were fired and everybody's running and it's chaos. So a little bit of what it was like. Okay, and here is the cover of Time magazine. And it says, "Enough, the killing of Charlie Kirk and the epidemic of American political violence." Appeals for information. Trump speaking. Oh, this is the video we already watched. Okay, this is another story about George Zinn, but I'm gonna interview Gordon, and we're gonna have a little special on George Zinn, the first red herring of the case. So, and Glenn Beck lowered his flag on his ranch to half staff. He was really broken up, and so was Megyn Kelly. They were trying to hold on to hope until Charlie Kirk's company sent out emails with notification, and then next came a notification from Trump. So here's the message that Turning Point sends. This is with heavy heart that we confirm that Charlie James Kirk has been murdered by a gunshot that took place during the Turning Point USA's American Comeback Tour campus event at Utah Valley University on September 10th, 2025. May he be received in the merciful arms of our loving Savior who suffered and died for Charlie. We ask that everyone keep his family and loved ones in your prayers. We ask that you please respect their privacy and dignity at this time. Yeah, it looks like that's his company. Okay. And here we've got a birthday thing. I think this is for the little boy. He had just barely turned 1. And so I think all of this is birthday party decor. More sensitive content. Okay, this is my friend Phil Lyman, who filmed the law enforcement tramping through the backyard with Charlie just before the event started. And here's Trump's tweet where he announced the death. It says, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." So, And this here is him just before the shot. They only got 2 questions out. It was about trans violence. Okay, Jason Chaffetz, who was our congressman, was there, and he became a person on Fox after he stepped down from the Congress. It says Republican says he only heard 1 shot, so nothing terribly interesting. Because we already know that. Okay, this is the most we'll show here. Here we go. This is a long ways away, so you can see generally what's happening without it being graphic. So, awful. So, okay, this is the Zen Man. This is the idiot who falsely confessed to having fired the kill shot. He's a 71-year-old guy. No way was he climbing up on the roof. He's a deadbeat. Going to be interviewing my friend Gordon about the Zen Man. So, that was the big grand red herring. Not sure what this is. No, this is a terror attack in London. Blew up a double-decker bus. Now we've got some things of the Ukrainian gal. Okay, that looks like that is everything that I've got for the moment. So, oh, hello, Justice Jane. Oh, I've left on. I don't want to have that because that might cause things to get the BBC or whoever had the Jubilee. So, okay, well, this is going to be a death penalty case. The governor has already said that, and I strongly suspect that Trump will direct the Attorney General Pam Bondi to file charges against him as well, so that if they don't get it on one level, they've got a chance of getting it on the other, because there are different statutes and it doesn't constitute double jeopardy. So, that will, a lot of the hearings will probably be on electronic, and I think that you'll have a strong possibility that the media is going to request for permission to film them, because they've filmed smaller things, and this is an international news story. So I don't see them missing out on the chance of streaming it, but I will go down to the courthouse in Provo for some of the hearings and not all of them will be necessarily. So anyway, I want to go do that. There was another case I was wanting to cover, which was another death penalty case where a couple of cops got shot. Some couple was having a domestic fight in the middle of the night, and first cop showed up and the guy shot the cop, and the second guy showed up and shot that one. Third cop showed up with the police dog and shot both of them. And then I guess backup showed up, and they were finally able to talk him down, and that he's got two capital homicide cases against him. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do that one after all. There is another case which I strongly suspect won't go to trial, which I do think I'd like to cover, and I was planning on compiling all the stuff for that. It's a rather sad, curious case out of Ohio where an Amish mother drowned her 4-year-old son because she wanted to give him back to God, and she had the cops, she's putting their hands on him and saying, God has chosen you, and so forth. And my husband, he went into the lake and to swim, and he got eaten by a fish, and it's a miracle, and you'll see that it's true. And so some people are saying, I can't remember, I think Chris McDonough was saying, this shows that she knew what was going on. I have a lot more sympathy for her as a crazy person than Lori, because Lori was a lot cagier and so forth, and I have more belief that this gal was genuinely nuts. So I thought it would be interesting to follow a case where somebody is pleading insanity and they have a good possibility that they are. So, oops, what have we got here? Not sure what this is. Let me take a look. I can't see where it is. That's really strange. Okay, so I'm kind of really fascinated by that case, and I'll try to compile that. Maybe I can possibly have it this weekend, and we can go over it, because it's a curious little case. So, oops, where's my tab? Oh dear, I just dropped the tab down. So, that's, I guess, it for the moment. And I'd like to go into more of the stuff, pull up some in-depth stuff a bit, and go over that. But this isn't going to move too fast, because they're going to want to do it right. They don't want to get a conviction and then have it overturned on appeal because they didn't do something right. So, yeah, we don't want that. Oh yeah, I was talking about people being generous to the family. After Elon Musk pledged money for their education, Patrick Mahomes, the legendary quarterbacks from Kansas City, pledged to pay for all their educational costs. And then another quarterback from another team pledged it. And they're going to kind of have to fight out who gets to pay for these kids' So it's very touching. And somebody pledged some money for, I guess, helping the family out on a more short-term basis, as opposed to the millionaire who pledged the endowment. So I don't think they're going to be starving, and they won't have any stress on them. They've got enough stress as it is. So that's it for now. So thank you for joining me, and any lurkers we've got, thank you for joining too, and we shall see you. I'll try to figure out what I did wrong with the software so that we can do this right the next time. So thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye-bye. Thanks, Indiana. Have a great day.